I want a simple life.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's something that has changed in menopause for me. Like that hustle, it's different now.
Yeah.
I want to hustle about shit that I care about.
I think that comes with age too. I think you get to a point in life, and I just think it happens to be at the same time that you're hitting menopause or perimenopause. You get to a point in life where you're like, I don't care what anybody else thinks, and so I want to live my life, and I'm going to do the shit that I want to do because that's what I care about.
And isn't that liberating?
Welcome to Brain Fog Banter, where two women in the messy middle of perimenopause try to make sense of what's happening as it's happening.
We're not doctors. We're just curious, unfiltered, and figuring it out right alongside you.
Every other episode, we bring in experts to help explain the stuff our bodies never warned us about.
And the rest of the time, we're swapping stories with each other and asking way too many personal questions. So let's stumble through it together. This is Brain Fog Banter.
That's not to say that I don't have times where I like rewind and I'm like, nervous.
Mm-hmm.
Or like, don't rethink something that you said in front of somebody and you're like, why did I say that?
Oh my God, the overthinking is so real. But that's been me my whole life.
Yeah.
But it's different now because okay, did I hurt their feelings? Was I being unreasonable? Like the freaking day that I couldn't find my chocolate chips that I have with my yogurt every morning.
Lily ate them all.
She had a couple and she moved. Oh my God. Tell me if you relate to this. Listen, I have routines, okay? And when I'm in a heightened state, like when I'm having a definite hormonal day where there's a dip in estrogen, which I don't understand fully. So we're going to have to explore that. And I just needed my yogurt and my gluten-free granola and my little mini chocolate chips and my almond slices.
Yeah.
And that's all that I had in my head. And so I came home and I got my little special bowl out and I dumped my yogurt in it and I built it. And I was like, wait, where are the mini chocolate chips? And I knew right away that it was my daughter. And I knocked on her door and I was like, did you take my chocolate chips? She was like, yeah. And she held up the bag and I just lost it. My bottom lip came out and I started tearing up uncontrollably like someone told me some real bad news. She didn't
Not
tell me
about
they were
the chocolate.
gone. By the way, I'm still working on that same bag. Okay, this was weeks ago.
Then you definitely don't put enough chocolate chips in your yogurt. Oh, but you put granola in too.
Mhm.
I don't put granola in
Just
all the
a
time.
sprinkle.
Just a sprinkle.
Just like an occasional, that was a mini chocolate chip. I hurled myself on my bed, choke sobbing because something was slightly askew. And she walks in with her eyes wide. What's happening? And she just kept saying, I'm so sorry. I didn't know that those were special chocolate chips. I promise I'll ask next time.
Special.
I collected myself. I wiped my swollen, cry-soaked face and I said, babe, this is not a you problem. This is a me problem. And I'm so sorry. But that's real, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's real because you get irrational about things that are not irrational.
Right.
But you don't know why you're getting irrational. It's almost like an out-of-body experience at times. I can hear myself saying to myself, you're acting out of turn right now for no fucking reason. But I sometimes cannot pull myself out of acting out of turn. Sometimes I can.
Yeah.
Or if I can pull myself out, that means I need to go into a room. A literal conversation that's like, okay, I recognize that I'm really pissed off about something that I don't need to be pissed off about. So I need to figure out if I'm going to react and then have to go back and say sorry later, or am I going to go into this room over here and really talk myself out of it?
Okay.
And sometimes
Chill
you're
out.
triggered all day long.
Those days.
Yeah.
And I find that I isolate on those days
Yeah.
when it is just one thing after the other. I just have to be proactive to tell my family there's not a reason for my mood and my attitude right now, but the sound of you breathing is making me feel homicidal and that's not normal. So I'm going to take a step back.
I usually don't say I'm in a funky mood. Like I'm in a funk or a funky mood. Like you want to interact with me, that's your. But I may react irrationally to whatever we're talking about. I don't know why. I might burst into tears for no reason, and I might get very angry. I don't know.
Oh, that's so
I'll either
real.
cry, I'll bite your head off, I'll get really mad. I don't know.
Talking to you makes me feel not alone because I feel like this is very isolating. And we've talked about this. There's not a lot out there. I am noticing that people are starting to talk more about it, and I'm grateful for that.
Yeah.
Why can everyone, every human, find easy access to everything you would ever need to know about anything that goes on in pregnancy?
I
But
don't know.
that's not a universal experience. We were both fortunate enough because that's what we wanted to get pregnant. But some people don't even want to get pregnant.
Right.
But every who
Has to.
gets to this stage, they're going to experience some menopausal symptoms. And not enough people are talking about it. And there are a lot of experts out there. And thank goodness for the content creators that we've found and connected with, which will connect our audience to. But I feel like I gravitate right now towards women who are going through this because it makes me feel not unhinged.
Well, yeah, you don't feel insane. I mean, you're living in a household with other people and they're not experiencing the same thing. I mean, unless you have a wife, then and you're the same age, then yeah, you're both going to experience that. So that might make the experience different and easier or not. I don't really know, but I know that no man is ever going to understand, although he can sympathize.
Sure.
And he can be understanding, but he's not truly going to understand. A lot of us also have children that are coming to the age of hormones. So while our hormones are out of whack, their hormones are out of whack. And sometimes that clashes in a way that's explosive.
Explosive is the exact word I was thinking because that's what it feels like.
Yeah.
And I try so hard to avoid that, but also because there's this expectation, I think, at least my children, where they know that like I'm emotional at times, but still like it's my job to make things right. And sometimes I just don't want to. I don't want to do the heavy lifting. I just want to throw a temper tantrum on my bed like a toddler about mini chocolate chips, and I want to move on with my day.
Well, yeah, because you know it's not going to last, but also it makes you feel a little better. You feel like, okay, I got through that emotional surge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's electrifying in a not great way.
Yeah. So is our hot flashes.
Oh my God. I woke up in a puddle last night, like have to change my bedding puddle.
Oh, yeah.
And it's so frustrating.
It is because it's gross. It feels disgusting. And then you're freezing the minute you're out of the bed.
Yes,
you're freezing.
Because you're actually wet.
My hair's wet, like everything. And you're like, this is disgusting.
It's so gross. I had no idea. And I am a person that runs cold and typically it's cold all the time. But now I was cleaning this morning. I wasn't doing heavy. I just was unloading and loading the dishwasher and making my bed. And I sweat through my t-shirt.
Yeah, I have
I ran a marathon.
Yeah, I've learned that if I'm going to do any activity that's going to take some time, any cleaning, anything that's going to, I got to organize something, whatever it
whatsoever.
is. It is it's 24 degrees. It's been colder. And I literally will put shorts and a t-shirt on to clean the house because in an instant I'll be sweating and I still will sweat through that.
I know. And that's so foreign to me.
Very foreign because I wear the socks, the sweatpants, the t-shirt, and the sweatshirt to bed with 2 blankets on me.
Yes. And sometimes I get really obstinate, like, no, I want to be cozy. So I'm going to bed in my full cozy getup. And I wake up half an hour. I mean, as soon as I fall asleep, which sometimes that takes 5 minutes if I've had a gummy. Sometimes it takes 4 hours.
If you let your brain just keep on running.
God, it's just like, oh, don't forget to think about this. So, okay, if you had to quantify, and I feel like this probably changes for me daily, but if I had to say the worst symptom, a lot of people probably say the mood swings, right? Is like one of the hardest to manage symptoms, but I'm bipolar. So I've been dealing with mood swings my entire life. And it's not fun. They are different. Hormonal mood swings are definitely different than manic episodes or, dips of depression. But for me, it's the temperature regulation that is very, very difficult to manage because I hate feeling uncomfortable. And if I get hot and sweaty, I want to take a shower. I can't take 14 showers, and some days are like that. So then I have all of these face wipes and I spray my face and I I don't know, like, how do you combat that?
Honestly, I push through.
Just say, fuck it. I'm going to be a little sweaty and probably stinky.
Yeah, because where I work, where I have to wear a jacket. So I have a t-shirt on underneath, and then I have to wear a jacket that comes down to here, and I have to wear pants. And sometimes I'm sitting for 45 minutes working, with somebody else on something. And when I get up, I can feel my pants stuck to my legs. It's disgusting.
You're at work.
That's my life.
You're like, sorry, I sweat. Do you have deodorant?
I have work bag deodorant.
Work bag deodorant.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we're starting this podcast because it's really important for us to build this community and for people to come and be like, I had the worst mood swing day yesterday, or what do you do about night sweats? I always tease you about gatekeeping, basic health things. Did you know that when you drink enough water in a day, your body functions better?
You mean you feel better when you're hydrated?
Water is very important. I don't know if you knew that, because you like to gatekeep that from me. So rude. Also, the prebiotic and probiotic. I wish you would have mentioned that.
I know.
Years ago. I mean, that I don't take the Lemmy bloat. I do take a probiotic that has helped with my GI issues.
Yeah.
Which are also fun during menopause. But I don't know. I just feel like we're in it. We're in it right now. How long ago did your symptoms start?
It started with my period being a little bit different than normal, how it had been for my whole life. And so I had mentioned to my doctor, I know when I'm ovulating because I have a pinch right in my side, I can feel it. And so I mentioned it to her, and she was like, you're probably entering perimenopause. I don't know if I was 40 yet. I might have been close. It might have been like 39. She's like, you're probably entering into perimenopause. And she was like, so your period's just going to get worse. And I was like, come again?
Did you know that?
I didn't know that. That's why I was like, huh?
Right.
She's like, yeah, it's going to get worse. Your cramps are going to get worse. Your symptoms are going to get worse. And I thought, okay, it's going to get worse. It can't be that bad. And then once the symptoms, which I would say maybe it's gotten stronger over the last year or two. So maybe when I hit 45, 46 is when it started to really ramp up. And that's when you haven't changed anything about your diet, your habits. Nothing's changed yet. You've gained weight. Your period is the worst it's ever been. Yeah. And your emotions are all over the place. Things that never bothered you bother you. It's insane. Insane.
And sometimes I really feel unhinged.
You don't feel like yourself.
Right. Who even am I? And then there are so many physical vanity changes.
For sure.
Right? My skin is drier and it's not as elastic. Take that skincare seriously. If you're
the elasticity goes away. You'll get a lot of gray hairs. You can just zoom right in on that shit.
But if you're lucky, you get gray hairs coming in like Jen Deppen over here.
Still, it's had quite the change.
And then the way clothes fit. What now I have to dress in layers all year long.
Yeah, you can't just.
Because I just never know when I'm going to have a hot flash. Did I ever tell you about the first hot flash I ever got?
Were you in Walmart? Or
No.
was that me?
That was you.
It was me. It was in Walmart.
That might have been worse.
I texted you and I was like, I think I'm in Walmart having a hot flash right now and I don't know what to do about it. I'm like, I can't go shopping with a jacket on. I don't know about you.
Oh no, it's in the car.
It's literally the worst.
It is the worst. And I might be cold because we're in New York and it is freezing. So I might be cold as I'm walking in, but I guarantee you when I'm coming out, that 15-degree weather feels amazing. I can air out my pits because I was sweating. Oh my God, it's so real. I think I was how old am I now? I'm about to turn 41. I think I was 41. I wish. I'm going to turn 40. Wait, now I have to do math. So I was about 41 when the irregularity of my periods was my first symptom.
Oh.
I could time my periods to a freaking watch. I got the exact same symptoms every month. It started almost the same time of day. Like I would be halfway through teaching and here it comes. That's okay because I'm prepared. I'm not anymore. I have had times where I'm like, is this PMS? I haven't had my period in 2 months. Am I about to get a period?
Yeah.
And it just starts whenever it wants. And sometimes it's spotting and that's all that it is. Sometimes I feel like I'm hemorrhaging. Did I
Like your
just
whole
deliver a
uterus
baby?
just out.
Is that the afterbirth? I didn't even know I was pregnant. And that's the inconsistent. I can't count on it.
I don't have that problem.
I hate it.
I didn't have that problem until I started trying birth control pills to help combat the symptoms, but I actually hate the birth control pills.
You've tried 2 different.
3.
Three.
I actually hate how the birth control pills make me feel more than just dealing with the menopause symptoms. Like, I can't. I know that like there's trial and error, but when you are already struggling and then there's trial and error and you're on your 3rd birth control pill, I can't do another one.
So are you still talking to your doctor about hormone replacement therapy?
I mean, I didn't talk to her about hormone replacement therapy. This was just to try and combat the symptoms some. So combat some of the hot flashes, just raise your estrogen basically.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like they make me nuttier. Also, I feel like they put me in PMS for a longer period of time. It only lasts so long, but when I was on a birth control pill, it felt like it lasted for days. And every day I'd be like, okay, my period's going to be here tomorrow. I know it. And then it would not come. And then the next day, and I'd be like, it's coming. I know it is, because you have the symptoms. You're so sensitive.
Very tender.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You're bloated. You're wanting to eat. Every snack looks delicious. Things that you would never eat at the times that you weren't on your period.
Are so frustrating.
Yeah.
For me, it has been the opposite side of the spectrum. I get so nauseous.
Really?
Morning sickness, nauseous.
Ew.
And there's not a whole lot that I can do. So it's like when I'm pregnant, I have to make sure that I have saltines on hand all the time, and those little ginger candies. And I drove through the McDonald's and got a Sprite on the way here, because sometimes the McDonald's Sprite, hits
settles.
right. So, and that's the thing too, is that my symptoms are unique to me and my chemical makeup and my body. Your symptoms are unique to you. So there's no single universal experience in terms of how it impacts all of us, or how, we combat the symptoms, but it is universal that we're going to experience it.
Yeah.
And why do that alone?
For sure. Because if we never talked about it, I would just be dealing with between me and my doctor. Probably, for sure, would not be going on social media to ask other people about it. Because no, thank you.
Because it's really personal stuff.
Very personal.
You're talking about, sweating and stinking and dry skin, thinning hair. Am I really having a wider part than I used to have? That what? I always had thick hair growing up. What's happening?
I know.
Dry skin, smells. I'm going to say it, random discharge. That there are so many weird, it feels like gross, shameful things. But why? Your sex drive changes. Sometimes it changes multiple times in the same week, day, whatever. Sometimes.
Yep.
And it's invisible. So the people in your life, if they're not going through it and you're not talking about it because you don't know what to even freaking say.
Well, I think that's where I have a hard time explaining. I can tell you the symptoms, but you can't know how hard it is to deal with the symptoms. You can only know the symptoms. It's just hard to explain. And it's not that he isn't understanding or whatever. No. That's not the case. The case is just, I don't know how to tell you. It's just, I feel insane, or I just don't feel like myself.
And then there's no real information on how long it lasts, because it's different for every person. With pregnancy, you've got 9 months, right?
Yeah.
And this is what to expect in month 1 and month 2. And so there's this little roadmap. And even though every pregnancy is different, and if you're fortunate enough to not have any issues, that's great. But still, there's this definitive timeline that you're working on. This could be a few years, could be a decade.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a huge chunk of your life.
This is true.
And it's happening at a time when, if you do have children, I have teenagers and a young adult, and I also have parents who are aging. So there's that, what do they call that? The sandwich generation. And that's where we're at in our lives. We're learning how to deal with our menopausal symptoms or perimenopausal symptoms. I'm still actually not sure when it switches to menopause.
I think when it switches to menopause is when you stop having a period, which you could not have a period for 11 months. And if you get it on that 12th month, you're still in perimenopause. You're not in menopause yet.
Okay, so I'm still in perimenopause.
Yeah.
So once you've gone 12 months without a period, then you're officially
in menopause. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, my doctor did say once you start to experience the sweating and the hot flashes, it just means you're moving closer. It still could be another 5 years before you actually hit menopause. And I was like, okay.
Right. So pregnancy you deal with for less than a year,
Yeah.
plus like postpartum, and
Yeah.
menopause is a decade of your life.
Yeah.
Well, all of your relationships fail because you're losing it and no one understands
Your
it.
life's a dumpster fire right now.
Sleep is non-existent. The brain fog is freaking real.
I know.
I mean, there are so many times when I will walk into a room and I will just stare. Where am I? What was I doing? I literally had the thought
Yeah.
0.4 seconds ago, and now I can't remember. And sometimes I have to abandon the task altogether.
And sometimes that happens to me at work. I'll go into our study room and I'll be like, what did I come in here for? I'm looking around in the room like something's going to trigger it, right? No.
And then
I have to go back into the
you
other
have to go
room
back and like literally
retrace my
your
steps. Or you're
For
having a
real.
conversation and there's a word that you're trying to remember that you literally need this word to explain what you're talking about and you cannot find the word and the person's just staring at you. Come on. Sorry, I just don't remember it right now.
My mom teases me all the time. And I'm like, Mom, you've been through menopause. You should have warned me. No, I'm kidding. But she teases me all the time. She says, you know, you used to be able to articulate your thoughts so well. Listen, I'm lucky that I can form any sentences. So let's not look at that level of articulation.
Yeah, it's really bad sometimes.
Yes.
And then there are times I have no problems being on top of things. Sometimes it's just totally fine.
Yeah.
I don't have that problem.
Because the symptoms, that's the other thing. They're not consistent. You don't get them all at the same time in the same way. If you wake up every day, wonder what fresh shit storm awaits me today.
It's an adventure.
I mean, but for real, which version of Kate am I going to be today? I don't know. Am I going to cry over chocolate chips or am I going to be able to function? I don't
know. Is the guy in front of me going too slow and I want to ram him with my car, which isn't a normal experience for me. Normally, I don't give a shit how slow you go. Maybe you're helping me avoid an accident 10 feet up. I don't know. So I'm like, D to D. Sometimes I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
Why are you existing?
Do you know what a gas pedal is?
It's on the right. It's on the right.
Sometimes I do that and I think I'm so glad Ella's not in the car with
me. Okay, so the road rage thing is real. I have definitely gotten more irate as a driver. And, you know, I find myself yelling, the left lane is for passing. Why do I care? Where am I going? Like that extra 3 minutes. I was already late anyway. So what does it matter?
I was dropping Ella off at school today and the guy in front of me literally was going so slow. And I was like, I don't have anywhere to go after this, but you driving this slow is fucking sane. And so we get up to the line where Ella's going to get out of the car. And I'm like, this is the worst driver I've ever experienced. And she's like, why? And she was so confused because he probably really wasn't going that slow, but I was feeling like he was. And it felt like forever. And then I had to follow him outside of the school. And I thought, and as soon as I could, I whipped into the other lane and I looked right, like, you idiot. And he's probably like, okay, crazy. Yes, I was crazy in that moment. I am not proud of myself, but I really was irate. I was really frustrated with his pace.
Would have lost it too.
He's just living his damn life.
He's just living his life, man. Following traffic rules.
Like,
right? Like going
whatever.
a safe distance around
children.
To
the metal here. What's going on that you can't go faster?
But actually, I also get mad if they're going too fast. It's really like, it's actually just whatever is in my head that's right when I'm in one of those modes is the only acceptable solution.
Slow the down.
Oh my God, where are you going? Relax. There are children around. This is a school zone. And then I'm like, you're in my way.
I want you to know the whole time I'm listening to an audiobook, I have missed 10 minutes of this audiobook.
I didn't think of as plotting this poor guy's demise, just trying to live his life on a Friday winter morning.
I hated him so much. And then I had to rewind my audiobook and I was like, here we go.
I missed a whole chapter.
I missed the good part.
Well, We have a lot of really cool stuff coming up. We've got some other amazing guests coming up. We'll tease those in a few episodes.
Yeah.
But really just talking about what we're going through, how we're managing it, bringing in experts because we absolutely have no idea what we're talking about.
No, we just know our own experiences.
Right.
That's really it. Birth control could totally work for somebody else. It just doesn't work for me. And to say when I tried it in my 20s, I didn't like it then either, but I thought maybe it would be helpful in this stage of my life. Clearly not. So, but that's not to say it wouldn't work for somebody else.
In a similar way that mental health and mental illness requires a lot of trial and error with different medications, I think it's true too of symptom management and perimenopause.
Mm-hmm.
So, which is good to know, but you do, I think, have to have a pretty strong support system in some fashion to get through it unscathed.
And not everybody has that. So
No.
that's a part of the reason why building a community, I think, is really important because not everybody has the same that we have. We're very lucky in that sense.
We've got each other. We've got other friends and family.
Yeah, we've
strong
got
partner.
And kids. Our kids are
Compassionate.
Yeah.
That kid does not give a shit what people think. My God, the heart on that kid.
He's single-handedly getting you through menopause right now.
I mean, honestly, he checks in with me. How'd you sleep last night, Mom?
Yeah.
I'm like, I slept like garbage. But the fact that you ask just makes me feel like someone
Feel better.
cares,
Yeah,
right?
yay.
Someone who doesn't have ovaries and is going through this actually cares.
Yeah.
We're
So
fortunate. Most of the time.
Did you drive us crazy?
No.
But listen, that's normal. And so anyway, it's really just a community to help everybody who's going through the same thing that we're going through, honestly.
Yeah. So something else we'll be discussing, the intersection of mental illness.
Yes.
And menopause, because that's actually definitely like one of my bigger challenges is like my medicine stopped working the way that so I'm working with my psychiatrist to kind of combat those things. And that's challenging.
It is hard. I can't imagine, that's difficult.
Yeah. So we're all just kind of figuring it out, but I'm really, really, really excited. This is kind of like a passion project.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just fun.
Yeah.
I hope that it would be helpful.
So if you want to connect and learn more and binge the episodes we have and then stick around, you can find us on all the social media things. Brain Fog Banter. Yeah. Wait, it's a little different on TikTok. Brain.fog.banter. I think.
Did it do that? I didn't do that.
You didn't do that? Maybe they did it.
Yeah, they may have done that.
It's okay.
Okay.
If you want more information on us and who we are, you can check out our website as well, which is brainfogbanter.wordpress.com.
Yeah.
Yeah. So check it out. Thank you for joining us on this crazy ride. Whether you're just someone who loves someone in perimenopause or someone looking for support who's in perimenopause, you're not alone. We're going to be exploring a lot, and we don't know very much at all, but we are connected to a lot of people who do know stuff.
Also, tell us your stories.
Please tell us your stories.
Tell us your stories.
Commiserate. We want to be there with you.
Ask questions.
Yes. Interact with us. We really, really, really like community and building community and just creating a safe space. Yeah. And it is safe.
It is very safe for all.
For all.
Thanks for hanging out with us in the fog today.
If you had a laugh, learned something new, or just felt a little more seen,
go ahead and follow the show. You can also leave us a review, share this episode with a friend, or slide into our DMs with your own midlife mayhem.
We're here for it. All of it.
Catch you next time on Brain Fog Banter.